Check hello. Okay, we're back. We're back with volume. Hello, hello. Meow, meow. I just fixed my audio device. You should be able to see and hear me now. I had a feeling that might be a thing. Okay. So hi everybody. Welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. As you can see, I'm a little frazzled because as soon as I went to go live, technology was like, don't you need to update this? And I was like, no. And it was like, uh-huh. And yep, just a normal Saturday. Cheers everybody. Hydration checkpoint. What are you sipping on? Okay, let's see. Here's the post. I see that the volume is back up, which we love to see. And we're going to put who can comment on your post to establish followers. Perfections. Meowdy. You don't need to hop and change. The volume should be there. You should be able to hear now. I have switched the audio device that was affecting the live stream everywhere but Instagram, but it is fixed now. But you can hop and change if you desire to. I am always broadcasting in 4 places at once for the Witchy Weather Report. Eventually, I hope to make it 5, and but I'm not ready to go live on TikTok yet. They haven't approved me. Meowie, meowie. Hi, Judith. How are you? How doing? Okay, I'm reading today with the Crystal Visions Tarot by Jennifer Galasso, which was a gift from my friend Brittany, and came with this adorable and this cute little bag with this adorable little crystal, which I am trying to get out of the cute little bag. Look at that. It just came with a cute little crystal in there. I love that little quartz point. Okay. So hi, here we are. If you'd like a card pulled, here's the secret code. You drop a cat in the chat or write the word meow if you prefer. I think my camera's a little blurry, so forgive me if you're on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube because I'm about to clean it up a little bit. Okay. I know that was a crazy experience, but it's about to get real better. Because you deserve better than blurry. That's my opinion. If you would like a card, the secret code is to write the word meow or drop a cat in the chat. And we do that because spammers, it's like catnip to them when we're like, please pull a card for me. The spammers seem to hear it and they come into the chat and they try to sell people readings. And those spammers are not me, by the way. I will never leave a comment and be like, DM me for reading, Venmo me for reading. That's not what I do. I have official sales pages for my readings. One of them is linked in the description, and I will put it in the chat for you. I don't ever be like, Venmo or PayPal me, and I'll pull a card for you. First of all, the Witchy Weather Report is free. I'll pull a card for you anyway. All you have to do is get here in a timely fashion, because I go live for only 1 hour every month on the Witchy Weather Report. I pull a card for the collective, for everybody for the upcoming month, and I also pull cards for anyone and everyone I can get to within the next hour. So that is the story. Meowie, meowie. Hi, Judith. Feel free to share this broadcast. I'm going to share it myself, I think, to sassafriends. I'm always hesitant to share it on Facebook because yes, it's more visibility, but then sometimes people comment on the shared post and I do not see the comments. So that's like tricky, Drinking coffee, very strong. Answer me these questions 3 before we get started. Question number 1, where are you tuned in from? I am broadcasting live from Long Island, New York. This is my feminist fairy cave. These are my self-care succulents. Question number 2, what you sipping on? I am sipping on water. Whoa, water in a bottle. I'm going to start making some moon water tonight because the new moon is on Monday night. So if you too would like to make moon water, I'm giving it the 3 days. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If you too would like to make moon water, you can. I might even go for 6. I might do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I get like the full breadth of the new moon experience as Sheila Haidt recommends. And new moon water is great for setting intentions. It's great for deciding what it is that you want to bring into your life and charging your water with that and then drinking it. Cheers, everybody. Question 3. How are you feeling today? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. We support each other. We're vulnerable on my broadcasts. How are you feeling today for realsies? For realsies. I am feeling better than I expected to today because today is going to be a big, busy day for me. I've got a billion things happening on the internet this afternoon. Then I have dinner for my mother's birthday, and then I'm going to a winter party that my friends are throwing. And I love all of these things, but this happens to me often on Saturdays as a self-employed person who does events, which is that all the things happen on Saturday, and then by the end of the weekend, I feel like a swamp creature. So we'll find out if I'm swampy or not by Monday. On Monday Night Muses, you will see the swamp level, and we will know how I fared. But I'm excited about all of the things. Huntington, New York on the big red couch. I love it. How iconic. Okay, sharing the broadcast. I'm pulling a card for everyone at this time. Afterwards, we've got some folks on deck for cards. First, we have 2 patrons, Grayson and Brittany, for whomst I will be pulling cards. Then we've got Mary Jane on Instagram. I always hit Insta first just because those comments fly away and it's easier for me. And then after that, I see Margaret. I see Angie. I see Judith. I see Melissa Longo, Big Melissa Energy, live from New York, sipping on water and Celsius energy drinks. Love it. Double fisting. Feeling stuffy but not sick. How are you? Meow meow. I'm glad you're not sick. I'm sorry you're stuffy. 'Tis the season for stuffiness. My butt is on the couch. I have not located a beverage yet. L'chaim. Texas water. A wee bit anxious. Ominous storms today. Everyone send some good energy to Margaret, please. Good weather energy. Good, safe weather energy. Anyway, I'll go back through after I pull the first couple cards and make sure I get to everybody. There's no way I'll hold all the things I just said in my brain. It's just not possible. So this is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Yes, it is named for the Stevie Nicks song, if you're familiar with it, by Jennifer Galasso. Jennifer Galasso is the artist and deck creator who made this tarot. And I'm going to pull a card for us for the month of January. Happy almost 2025, everybody. I don't know how you feel about the turn of the new year. I don't know how I feel about the turn of the new year. Here as an American, I feel terrified of the incoming administration. I'll just be real about it. I just feel very scared. I also feel like I love New Year's. I love it. It's a holiday I enjoy. I love having an opportunity to make a milestone, an opportunity to make some new choices, decide what to leave behind in 2024 and what to take with me going forward. And I'm just going to try to focus on the good and try to focus on being the good, being a light in the world, being someone who helps, being a helper, and allow that to be enough things. That is my wish. Or my goal, I guess, for 2025. Okay. Here's our card, everybody. It's the 5 of Pentacles. This is the card for the upcoming month. Cuddle close, friends. It's a time to acknowledge our needs and to seek to get them met. The 5 of Pentacles is a challenging card because it forces us to acknowledge that we have needs. It forces us to acknowledge that when they are not met, it's a problem. You know what I mean? It forces us to feel our needs as needs, not just kind of hypothetical concepts. Because when your needs are met, you're like, yes, I'm grateful. I'm grateful I have running water. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful I have food. I'm grateful, whatever. You know, when your needs are not met, and I'm not just talking about those basic needs, I'm talking about emotional needs as well. All the things that make us feel stable. Life feels like it's on fire until our needs get met again. And so we are advised to seek out meeting our needs early and often, to take care of ourselves the way we would take care of a small child that entered into our care, right? If a small child showed up on your doorstep and needed you to care for it until you were able to get them back to their caretaker, how would you care for that small child? Care for yourself with that same level of concern this month. Give yourself the care that you need. Allow yourself to accept help. And allow yourself to be a squishy human who has needs, because we all have them. It doesn't make you good or bad. Don't make a moral judgment call on yourself for having needs, because everybody has needs. That's just the human state, the state of being human. Get comfortable, allow yourself to need things, and allow yourself further to go get those needs met. You deserve that. That is the energy of the month, my friends, for us. Get your needs met. Judith just posted to Reader Studio. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've got 2 cards on deck, one for Grayson and one for Brittany, my 2 patrons who have put in an early request for a card. I'm moving windows around to make sure, because I think Grayson usually has a particular question. It's usually a pretty similar question. But let me make sure that I get it right. Grayson just says I would like a card. Okay, well then, you shall have a card, Grayson. Here we go. Grayson, pulling your card right now. Next up, Brittany. On deck, Mary Jane. Question for everybody in the chat. I'm going to just go crazy and put a vulnerable question in there while I'm pulling cards. Do you have needs that you feel like you're not getting met right now? Would you like to share about them? And let's make this not an advice free-for-all, because often when people have needs that are not getting met, our first instinct is like, let me solve that problem for you. Let's not offer advice unless it's asked for, because I promise you, if someone's needs are not getting met, they have already thought about how to solve it. They might not need or want more advice at this point. But do you have needs that are not getting met right now? I have many needs that are getting met. And when I ask myself that way, I feel grateful to think about that. I think my need for my home life being settled in the way that I need for it to be is the one that's not currently getting met, but a lot of other needs are getting met, and I've learned that I'm not alone in getting that first one met. So on the way. That's the vibe. When people ask me how I'm doing, on the way. I'm getting there. Grayson, your card is the Sun. We love it. We love to see it. Again, I ask you the same question I asked the collective about our card of the month, which is, what would you do? How would you care for a small child if it entered into your care and you needed to show up for that small being until you got it back to their caregiver? Because this is the other card that has a child on it. We have the Sun, and we have this loving energy, and we have this adorable little white horse, little white pony, and we have this energy that seems to be a parent and a child. And so you're being called at this time to give yourself the gift of everything your inner child needs. The Sun is a beautiful card. It allows us to have growth and harmonious development, to allow that time to come through for you. Allow yourself to revel in all that is. Allow yourself to seek to get your needs met, and allow yourself to meet those needs, to reparent yourself. You know, if there are things that as a child or as a younger version of you didn't feel you could safely take delight in, well, now you are older, wiser, safer, and perhaps now you can make a wise choice to spend this month actively taking delight in things you could not in the past, right? Now is your time. Now you can shine. Now you can take delight. Now you can find those moments and give them to yourself. That is my suggestion to you for the month of January, Grayson. Angie says, stability, emotional support, validation. Valid. I hear you. I really do. And those are biggies. And Pentacles and the Tarot talk about those things that keep us stable. And those are our needs. And we think of basic needs. We think of, I often talk about time, energy, money when I talk about Pentacles. But our basic emotional needs are a part of that as well. You know, if our basic emotional needs are not getting met, life feels like it's on fire, and we can't navigate very quickly in crisis mode. We can't advocate for ourselves sustainably in crisis mode. Need a little caretaking instead of doing all the caretaking. Tired. I really hear you on that, Mary Jane. I'm going to clean my glasses, y'all. Spirit through steel, good meowing. Good meowing, my dear. You are online. I don't know where you are, but you are online. I will pull a card for you now that you said meow. If you just tuned in recently, the secret code to get a card pulled for you is to write the word meow or put a cat in the chat, and I will pull a card for you. Feel free, if you have a particular question or topic you'd like some insight on, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pull you a general card. The card for everybody is the Five of Pentacles. Our needs are in focus. It's time to learn how to let ourselves have needs instead of judging ourselves for having needs, which is it's not even just an innately human experience, and it's an innately alive experience, right? All alive things have needs. If we have needs, it is a sign we are alive. There is no shame in that. There is no shame in having needs. But many of us feel we should be self-sufficient, which is a false ideal put forth, honestly, by a patriarchal capitalist society that devalues caretaking because it sees caretaking as feminist. Yeah, it's like 10 minutes in and we're already getting into feminist theory. Take a drink, everybody. Cheers. We're allowed to have needs. I invite you to get your needs met. I invite you to advocate for yourself to the best of your ability. I invite you to seek getting your needs met. I invite you to be loving to yourself rather than judgmental about yourself of having needs. Hello, Nathan. I see many letters after the word Nathan, but I think I can safely call you Nathan, but tell me if I should call you something different. Welcome to the broadcast. If there's something, if you'd like a card, let me know. I've got a few people on deck ahead of you, but I'd love to pull a card for you. Okay. Next up is Brittany, then Mary Jane is on deck. Brittany, pulling a card for you for January. Brittany, your card is the Nine of Pentacles. Brittany, we have you literally beside this beautiful tame tiger in a garden, cultivating all the inner peace you have given yourself. It's a time to be thankful to you and your stability. And specifically, I see this card as representative of you finding the inner gratitude towards yourself, towards Brittany, towards true self, for all the work that Brittany has done to cultivate safety for your various parts, to cultivate mental health and stability, to cultivate systems and strategies that support you, to cultivate putting things in place to meet your needs. So friends, this is the actualization. We have the Five of Pentacles as our cards for the month. The Nine of Pentacles is this actualization of I have cultivated a network of support for myself, and as a result, here I am. This is a healthier view that we can take instead of self-sufficiency, this idea that we shouldn't have needs. This is the idea of I own my needs and I go out and I create circumstances for myself such that my needs will be met, and I am therefore proud of myself, right? It's a subtle difference, right? It's not the same as never having needs, therefore being self-sufficient. It's that I care enough about me to take care of myself and meet my needs. I show up for myself. As a result, look at what I have around me. Not only are my needs met, I have abundance. I have this beautiful, happy, tame tiger with me in a garden. Brittany, you've given yourself an opportunity by showing up diligently to get your own needs met and to show up for creating systems of support for yourself and a network of support to give yourself a shot at something more than simply meeting your needs, more than just getting by, but thriving and flourishing. I encourage you to allow yourself to experience thriving and flourishing in January. Honor those ways and know that you have yourself, to thank for those things. Good meowing, Ondine. How doing? How are you? No worries. We're still here. Okay, next up we have Mary Jane. I'm scrolling up just to see if there's a question. I see a cat. Fun question instead of scary coming president question. Yes, thank you. By the way, I want to share that no one has asked yet, but I will share. I will not, and I do not answer predictive questions about politics and current events. And I don't do that for many reasons. First of all, politics and current events have contained within them the free will of multitudes, right? And so things can change very quickly on a dime based on emerging truth, emerging patterns, emerging decisions that people may make. And so literally any prediction that I make is good for a split second, and then instantly the circumstances change because we all have free will, right? That's my personal belief, that we all have free will. You're free to debate about it. I don't really want to debate about it. You're allowed to think differently. It's fine. So I don't read on those things. And I also, as a mental health, for mental health reasons for me and others, I do not read on those things. I do read on how to handle different things. Like if you're like, I'm anxious about the upcoming presidency, what can I do? I'll pull a card for you on that. You know what I mean? I will not pull a card on what's going to happen. I won't do that for myself. It's a hard boundary with myself, and I won't do that for the reasons I've just shared. And Mary Jane asked a great question. And she's like, instead of the scary coming president question, which I appreciate, what's my love life look like over the next few years? Love this energy. As always, I will remind you that the energy you bring to it is the most important determining factor. But I understand too that this is like a weather question, right? And this is the Witchy Weather Report. So let's see the weather in your love life for the next few years. Let's do this. We can't control the weather. We can only decide if we wear rain boots or not that day. Okay, Three of Cups energy, Mary Jane. And this is a love life question. Feels really interesting. So we have Three of Cups. This suggests there's a collective energy here. It suggests relationships. If you're a monogamous person and your relationships are one-on-one, this would suggest relationships where there is crossover, meaning somebody who is also friends with your friends or with your family or with important people in your life, meaning this like wonderful feeling of a relationship that fits into the healthy relationships in your current life. If you are not monogamous, then this could look like, kitchen table poly. This could look like healthy relationships that coexist beside each other, right? There are many different types of relationship. And at the end of the day, the Three of Cups suggests different relationships living in harmony with each other. It's a wonderful, wonderful card for romance because it suggests the kind of relationships that make you feel seen, that let you be silly, that make you feel like life is one big, delicious slumber party. The Three of Cups makes me think of having a slumber party with people I love. It makes me think of getting together and everyone knows each other really well and we're all doing something that we really enjoy together and we're all celebrating each other. And in the loving way that friends do, we're able to make fun of each other without being hurtful because we know each other's boundaries and limits and we know how to get silly and keep it loving, right? And that's the energy of the Three of Cups. And so that's the energy of, that's the weather for you, right? We have this silly, loving, feeling seen, doing things that feel affirming, that feel like you don't have to be something other than your true self. And there is a sense, again, of multiple relationships interacting. So it's not this division that many people feel between like, well, here's my love life and here's all my other relationships, right? Those things are able to flourish together. I love this for you. I love this energy for you. Absolutely beautiful energy. So I will share, this pattern is emerging of how the Five of Pentacles was our card. For anyone who tuned in recently, our card for the month is the Five of Pentacles. Our needs are in focus. We're going to be reminded that we're squishy human beings who have needs. And that not getting our needs met has consequences. And, even just saying the words like, do you have unmet needs right now? Inherently undermines how important it is, right? I talked to my therapist about unmet needs, and she talks to me about my unmet needs. And even just the fact of like intellectualizing it to like, well, I need this and I'm not getting this. Just the fact of that takes us a step back from how vitally important it is, right? We can only go so far and so long without our needs getting met, right? Hydration is a basic need. Hydration checkpoint, everybody. We can only go so far and so long without water. We will die of dehydration fairly quickly. We can only go so far and so long without our needs getting met. And so our needs are in focus in January, and we're asked to advocate for ourselves and also to allow ourselves to be human, to allow ourselves to be alive. All alive things have needs. So we have this kind of needy card. It is. I say that without making a value judgment, because when you hear the word needy, do you hear a value judgment in it? Because most people use it in a judgy way. Oh, you're so needy, right? You have too many needs. They're needs. Right? Can you imagine somebody like offering you a sip of water in the middle of the desert and you wanting more than a sip of water because you're in the middle of the freaking desert and they're like, "Oh, you're so needy." Like, that's just normal. You just need water to live, right? They're needs. And yet we use needy as a pejorative. And it's messed up and wrong. And we have this needy card in focus to remind ourselves we have to be allowed to have our needs. Getting our needs met is something we should prioritize, and anyone who shames us for that is someone who, A, probably isn't gonna meet them, and B, maybe has some soul searching to do about how they feel about their own needs. Maybe they have their own issues about that. It's okay to have needs, kids. Hydration checkpoint. However, this needy card has presented itself, and all the individual cards so far have been really powerful, positive ones. So it's interesting, and I'm curious to know whether leaning into thought experiment to do with me, think about your individual card this month and ask yourself, if I lean into that energy, is that what will help me get my needs met? And that doesn't mean don't do other things to get your needs met. Just get your needs met. That's powerful and important. You know what I mean? But I'm seeing these powerful cards, these positive cards, the Sun, the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, all of which are about getting needs met. And I wonder if they're being presented to us as the antidote, as our personal antidote to the Five of Pentacles. That's my interesting thought experiment for the month. Hey, Celia, welcome, welcome. How are you? Let me know if I can pull a card for you. I have several people on deck. I have to go through them. And then I will get to you as well. Okay, let's see who I got. Okay. Next up is Margaret. And then on deck after Margaret is Angie. And that's as far as I'm going to go because I think that's the number of people that will fit in my brain. I mean, my brain is pretty small in here. Fitting any people in here is pretty amazing. Just fitting me in here, often a challenge, honestly. I spill out into songs. I spill out into podcasts. I can't fit in here. It's too small. I contain multitudes. Margaret, this card is for you. Let's see if I have a question from Margaret. No, it looks like just a kitty cat. Okay. Margaret, your card is Temperance. I want you to notice something really key, and I'm holding this up as close as I can. Look at how this person is literally pouring water into a cup of fire, yet she is not extinguishing the fire. Right? This is more like some advanced friggin' alchemy shit happening. There's a cup of water. She's an angel. She's got wings like you. You are an angel who does not have wings that I know of in the physical. And she's pouring the water cup into the fire cup, and it's less about, it's not saying like we put out the fire. No, it's saying we find a way. Two things can be true. We allow the water and the fire to coexist. What does that mean for you, Margaret? For you, it's about allowing your water, your flow, your healing energy, which I would say is a big part of you. And these are the things I associate with the element of water: flow, healing energy, creativity, connection, to coexist with your fire, your fiery emotions such as desire and anger, your big feels, your the thing they have in common is creativity. Creativity is of both water and fire. Your creativity, your urgency, your chaos, your chaoticness. Be the agent of chaos you wish to see in the world, and at the same time show up for the healing and the flow and the connection, right? Can you allow room for both in your life? That is your question and your challenge. You need both to flourish. It's not about choosing one over the other. It's not about this horrible reduction thing that I see. And if this is meaningful to anyone and I'm about to like crap all over a philosophy of yours, well, take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to believe what I believe. But I often see people make this very reductionist point, like, are you going to choose fear or are you going to choose love today? And I'm here to say there's a whole spectrum of human emotions, and it's not wrong to feel fear, and fear isn't a bad emotion, and it's bullshit. And the bravest thing we can do is choose actions that are loving to ourselves first and others secondarily, and also honor our fear. It's not like fear or love, you're bad if you have fears. No, that's bullshit, right? It's rather we're allowing these things to coexist within us. We're allowing our big emotions to coexist alongside our more temperate emotions. We're allowing our wisdom and our kindness to coexist with our real anger and need for change, because both are needed, right? Both fear and love are needed, by the way, because our fears tell us, if this happens, my needs won't be met. And we're talking this month about getting our needs met, right? It's normal and appropriate to fear. It's normal and appropriate to fear, what if I get in a car accident? Because it will make you have safer driving practices, right? It will make you put your seatbelt on. It will make you do the right things you should do to protect yourself. It's normal and appropriate to be like, oh, I'm walking, I'm in like a shady neighborhood right now, and I am a woman walking alone, and I should be a little more cautious. And that's not my fault, but that's something I should be mindful of because I don't want the bad thing to happen to me, whatever the bad thing might be, right? It's normal and appropriate to let our fear have a voice to help us make wise choices, not to let us drive the bus, but to help, not to let fear drive the bus, but help us make good choices. That's healthy. Pretending that our fear doesn't have anything value to contribute is absolutely not healthy as toxic bypassing. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Margaret, your card invites you to allow the desirous, burning, chaotic elements of your personality to live in peace and harmony with the flow, connected, healing elements of your personality. Both parts of you are direly needed right now. Okay. Thank you for listening. We're preaching today. That's the vibe. We're preaching today, everybody. Okay, next up, we have Angie, and after Angie, we have Judith. And I know there's more people on deck. I'm just taking two at a time. Thank you for coming to the Witchy Weather Report. This is a good time to let you know I still have room for only a few more people for the January tarot reports. So, morning meow. Hey, Anna, I'll get you on the list. Don't worry. If you would like, no question, just help. Okay, I got you. If you would like a January tarot report from me, they're $37. Or if you subscribe and save, which some people tuned in have already done, I love you, thank you, they're $27. And you can cancel anytime. You just email me and let me know. You can go to your tinyurl.com/your tarot month if you want to order your January tarot report. Like I said, I only have a few of these left because they do take time. I do a full video reading for you. I give you the weather of the month ahead and how you yourself can harness it and the best advice to make it be for your highest good. And if you would like that, you can order one. Link is in my bio if you're on Instagram, or I just put it into the chat everywhere else. And so it's about halfway through the broadcast. I meant to make that announcement, and now I've made the announcement, and now I can move on. And if you're curious about it and want to hear more about it, just ask. You can ask a question in the chat, or you can message me, whatever. But the only place to get it is that link I just dropped, because I am not a scammer. And scammers will come on sometimes and be like, Venmo me, I'll pull your card. I pull your cards for free on the Witchy Weather Report, friends. Don't fall prey to scams. But if you'd like the full tarot report, that is where to order it. I feel it's been something I've been doing just this year, and it's been really meaningful to me, both for myself and for the people that I read for. It's been special to have that monthly check-in. Okay, pulling a card for Angie. On deck after that is Judith. Angie, your card is the Ace of Pentacles. Choosing new, fresh stability for yourself. In particular, allow yourself to have it. The universe is ready to offer you a new vision of what stability can look like. And your whole job is to be open to that. This is incredibly hard if we've been in circumstances where the circumstances themselves feel intractable, where we've been attempting to get our needs met, and there's, this chaotic energy of sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? It can feel very hard to see past the very real fact that our needs are not met, right? To go back to this desert metaphor, which my therapist and I use a lot, if you're walking around in the desert desperate for water and you've had like maybe just enough to keep you going, but you're kind of falling down and miserable, it's very hard to be like, how can I open my mind and strategize about new ways of getting water, right? Like, you're not in that headspace. The headspace that you're in is like, I need some fucking water. Like, it's not... it's challenging to think outside the box, is what I'm saying, when your needs haven't been met, but you're being asked every time I make a desert water metaphor, I want to take a drink of water. We're doing a hydration checkpoint after this. I'm a little bit dehydrated this morning, I think. The universe has new stability on offer to you. It being new means that it will not look like what you're used to, which is actually a good thing. Because if what you're used to hasn't been meeting your needs, and looking for more of the same is probably not the best strategy. But I know that's a hard mindset shift to make when your needs are not being met. The Ace of Pentacles says there is a new way to meet your needs. Yes, you can have the stability. It will look and feel different. Do you want it? Check yes or no. And literally, that's your decision to make. Do you want it? Check yes or no. We all have choices, right? The universe does give us gifts. It does not force them upon us. It says, do you want it? Check yes or no, right? We always have that option, right? We have that option. If someone gives us a gift we don't like in 2024, we can re-gift it, right? If life drops us a situation that we don't like, we can say, I'm going to opt out of that. I'm going to look at my other choices. The universe is offering you a new opportunity to cultivate stability in a new and different way. And it's just asking, do you want it? Check yes or no. And so there will be a portion of trusting the process and a portion of checking in with yourself and asking yourself, are you ready? Are you ready to look at this from a new perspective? And it may be very hard. It can be hard to see new perspectives. It can be hard to see new perspectives when we have been desperately trying to make things work for a long time. So you have it on offer. You have it available to you. And if you want it, look around and you will find it. That is the universe's promise to you. Oh, I've been crying so much. I should replenish. I really hear you. Absolutely. If you've been crying, hydration. Also have something a little salty with your hydration, because you're losing salt too. And low sodium is just as dangerous. As people like demonize salt and demonize sodium, sodium is a necessary thing that we need to survive. And so having none is also dangerous. So that's why like Gatorade and stuff does have like some sodium in there. Anyway, hydrate. I have no clue what the difference will look like, but I would like to see a better way. I invite you, I feel, without saying too much, that you texted me something that looks like it could be a better way. That's my own perspective. It doesn't have to be yours, but you texted me something that could be the new way earlier this morning. And it's your decision to do, like what you think to pursue what you feel will work for you or will not work for you. But I think you are able to say to yourself in the universe right now, like, yes, I'm open to the new way, and it will be there for you if you allow yourself to be open, right? And not just that, but allow yourself all the shadow work that comes with being open, right? Allowing yourself like the humility to let things be a different way than perhaps you hoped or wanted them to be, if that is really what's gonna meet your needs better. I don't mean to make it seem like, oh, it's easy, just sign on the dotted line. I understand that it's hard. Okay, next up we got Judith. And on deck after Judith, let's see who is next on deck after Judith, is Melissa Longo. Ondine says, get yourself some coconut water. Here for that. Angie says, I think the swing got to happen going into 2025. I'm here for that. And I want you to know, as your friend, not just as your tarot reader, I'm here to support you literally any way that I can. I learned this year, I made a big decision thinking I had no safety net, and it was terrifying, but I just had to make it. And I learned that I did have a safety net, and the safety net was my friends and family and community. And I genuinely didn't know. And I made it as a leap of faith. I made it thinking I'll just figure out how to be my own safety net, and I found out that I did have one in my friends, family, and community, and you, Angie, will find out the same thing. You are not alone. Anna says, I tried coconut water once. It was gross. Yeah, I also do not like coconut water. 3 cheers for coconut water if you enjoy it. If it is your preferred way to hydrate, enjoy. It's not my fave, but some people love it. Judith, this next card is for you. Judith, we have strength here. We have strength, and we have this lion, and we have this maiden, and we have these eagles overhead. Eagles, birds always represent messengers to me. There's more outside of yourself to understand your current struggle, could benefit from outside perspective. So that's important to know. Strength appears when we have to be strong, but I want you to take note of the fact of a few things. The sun is rising. We're about to get more clarity. We have sunflowers all around us. We're relatively safe, right? I don't see any crazy things happening. We're safe. And we are not alone. We have company, right? We have the maiden and the lion. These can represent inner parts of yourself that may be at war. Again, we talked about this temperate path versus this fear, temperate path versus this fierce path. We talked about that a little bit with Margaret's card, Temperance. This is a very similar card where these are 2 parts of yourself. Both are important. There's multiple ways to be strong, right? And at different times, we acknowledge them. Right now, the lion is choosing to be strong by being cuddled, right? This maiden is like, lion, I got you. We've had a hard time. We're having a snuggle now, right? And this lion is choosing, as every cat is capable of choosing, to embrace the snuggle. Embracing the snuggle rather than the struggle. Just a piece of advice from me to you. And there are times that lion will have to get up and be fierce again at some point, right? There are times to snuggle and times to be fierce. And at different times in our life, strength looks like both. And so I just invite you to consider that as you go through your month. Because strength requires a great deal of self-care, and that's when we embrace the snuggle rather than the struggle, So making those choices wisely for yourself, putting yourself first. Honoring both sides of yourself rather than having a fight with yourself, acknowledging like, okay, this part of myself that is fierce and wants to be an angel of justice and wants to like set things right, coexist with this part of myself that wants to snuggle and wants to be loving and seeks connection. And they're really 2 sides of the same coin, and they both have similar goals. They just have different beliefs about what's going to work, and just honoring these parts of yourself and saying, you're both right. I love you both. I love all of me, right? Is what helps you move through this month. Undine says, I find it more palatable than Gatorade. Yeah, valid. Gatorade's its own experience. Yeah. And it's a good natural source of electrolytes, my 2 cents. Yes, super valid. Yeah. And also, like, I am someone who will sometimes like drink water and eat it with a little something that's a little salty to get the same experience. It's like, well, okay, I could do both, right? As long as they're both getting in there, because sometimes salty drinks are disgusting. Not always, but sometimes. Not so with margaritas. A good margarita with salt on the rim. That is not how I recommend you getting your electrolytes, but it is tasty. Next up. Okay, let's see who's on deck. Melissa Longo. And on deck after Melissa is, I believe, Ondine. Let me scroll up. Scrolling. Oh, no. After Melissa Longo is Spirit Through Steel, then Ondine. Okay. Everyone, please follow Spirit Through Steel on Instagram, Facebook, all the places. I just had last Sunday, I had an absolutely amazing music healing and Reiki session with Spirit Through Steel. Oh my gosh, y'all, it blew my mind. And y'all know me, like I'm witchy as hell. That Reiki session, I've never had Reiki done on me before, like seriously on purpose. I've had some like on the fly people who were like, can I do a little Reiki on you? I've had those kind of experiences, right? And all of them blew my mind, like few and far between, but every time I was like, whoa. Lying down and having a Reiki session, I felt things buzzing and vibrating in my body that made no sense for me to feel. And it was really fascinating and interesting, and I feel like it really helped. So follow Spirit through Steel. If you're local on Long Island, consider booking a Reiki session. She is absolutely amazing. Anyway, Melissa Longo, card for you, then Spirit through Steel, then Ondine. And then more people. Don't worry, I'll get to you. I'm going to speed through because we got 10 minutes left. And immediately after this, if you are part of the Witchy Self-Care Intensive, immediately after this, our Zoom will start at 12 noon. So be aware. Melissa, your card is the Nine of Wands. Melissa Longo. We have, again, a lady and a lion. Like, it's interesting how we're getting a lot of this duality, right? Fierce and flowing, right? The different vibes of strength, right? We have, again, a lady and a lion. There's a girl lion, notably a little more fierce and gets things done a little better. That's just the animal kingdom. Sorry, not sorry. And they're sitting in this circle of like lit staffs, right? It's like they have created a circle of safety for themselves and they are on watch. So they're resting, but it's that crisis kind of rest. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, I'm ready for whatever comes next, right? I'm vigilant. And the Nine of Wands is the sign that our fight is almost over. You have been through a lot. You have had to be vigilant. Perhaps now you're in a state of overvigilance, right? And both sides of yourself, you know, the side that is more fierce as well as the side that seeks connection and snuggles rather than struggles. Both sides of yourself are tired. You have been through it. And so I strongly recommend self-care at this time. You've had to stand up for yourself. You may feel like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And usually at this point with the Nine of Wands, it's like you have gotten through the hard thing. You just have to let things settle out. You just have to let yourself make the transition back from crisis mode to normalcy. And I recommend being very loving with yourself as you make that transition. I recommend giving yourself lots of sleep, lots of care. I recommend holding your own hand through it because often our emotions are so discombobulated after a time like this when we've had to be on, had to be vigilant, had to face crises, had to be strategic, that our emotions are like done. You know, we're overtired, right? And if a toddler is overtired, they kind of need an adult to hold their hand and be like, okay, baby, let's get some food in you and let's get you to bed. Let's like get those basic needs met because then you'll feel better. Hold your own hand through this time. Hold your own hand through January. Be a loving parent to yourself. Okay, on deck, we got Spirit through Steel, then Ondine. Ondine says, that very thing crossed my mind. I love that little margarita emoji there. Yeah, absolutely. Probably not the best way to get your electrolytes, but amazing. Love a classic margarita. Okay, new moon tomorrow. Spirit through Steel is the first person that I'm reading for, then Ondine. Okay, I'll get to your question in just a moment, Ondine. Okay, Spirit through Steel, Lisa Diana, pulling this card for you. Melissa Longo says, my duality is ready. Hell yes, it is. Big fan of your duality. Okay, Lisa Diana, we have the Three of Pentacles. Accept help, girl. Something that I think you are actually good at. Your stability will be best served by you being the vision of the operation and allowing others to help you. You don't have to do all the work. You don't have to figure out all the details. We see two people working together here in the Three of Pentacles. Both of them are doing the thing that works best for them to be doing at that moment. That doesn't mean that they couldn't switch places or that either person couldn't, handle it maybe on their own, but you don't need to handle everything on your own. That is the message of the Three of Pentacles. You have help, you have a network, you have access to both the skills and expertise and the actual help, the actual labor of those around you. So avail yourself of that help. Your growth does not have to be accomplished alone. Seek the help you need. So there. Okay, Ondine. New moon tomorrow, just ahead of the new year. How do I best harness this energy so that I prosper and thrive, especially in light of recent and ongoing challenges? I know. How are you feeling, by the way? I saw your email too, and I saw your email in response actually to my Witchy Weather Report, and you're like, King of Wands, I got COVID. You were the king of COVID. I'm so sorry. You deserve better than COVID, especially on your King of Wands week. Oof is what I have to say. Just like a loving oof. How are you feeling? How are you recovering? So, how to best harness this energy so that you prosper? I love this question, by the way. This is a delicious question. Take notes. These are the questions to ask the universe. How do I best harness this energy so I prosper and thrive, especially in light of recent and ongoing challenges? Just like chef's kiss, like perfect question. Okay. Andi, and your answer is the Emperor. So it's kind of funny that we brought up the King of Wands because the Emperor and King of Wands, friends, samey. You are asked, and I think this is I feel like the universe is doubling down on this message. And I think it's interesting that I just like thought of that thing you sent in that email right as I was about to pull your card, and we have the Emperor, a very similar card to the King of Wands. You are meant to be in charge. You are meant to start calling the shots. And it may feel hard to call the shots when you have areas where you're in a state of weakness, where you're in a state of your needs getting met. And it's like really the way that translates for me is even though, right? Like even though I am struggling, I no longer choose, I no longer allow the world to victimize me. Now, I don't want to get into victim blaming because that's not what I mean by this, right? It is a subtle and very important difference, right? I don't want to get into victim blaming. Victims of crimes, victims of bad circumstances, etc., did not create their circumstances. It's not their fault, right? That's where we like start to blame humans for having needs, right? It's never a victim's fault that something happens to them. However, you do get an opportunity to choose how you will act and react and respond. And you're being asked to step into your authority, and you can claim your authority from anywhere, right? It may be easier if you're the emperor and you're sitting on a throne. You may feel an easier access to your authority, but you can claim your authority from being sprawled on the floor just as easily as you can claim your authority from up top on a pedestal. And in some ways, it's easier to claim your authority from being sprawled on the floor because that vantage point is a realer point of view, right? It's not claiming it from a place of privilege, as we have seen certain incoming presidents do, right? We're not claiming our authority from a place of privilege. We're claiming our authority from a place of reality. And what that means is having really strong boundaries. Yes, I will accept this. No, I will not accept this. This is how I will and will not be treated. And I specifically want to ask you to lean into the will. It's not just how I will not be treated. It's not just having strong boundaries. It's like, I'm deciding that this is going to happen for me. I'm deciding that this need is going to get met. And I may not know the exact how, but I'm dead set on it, right? And when your vision is that focused and you're like, well, I'm dead set on finding the solution to this problem, I will find it. And you're not allowing room for there to be not a solution. You're like, the solution's there and I will find it and I will put my finest men on it, because I don't have to do it all by myself. That is the energy. It is simply making the decision. And I referenced earlier in the year making a very difficult decision with what I felt like was no safety net. And I did find out I had a safety net. And the truth is, I found out only after I made the decision to do it without the net. I found out I had the safety net only after I had decided I will do it without the net. Claim your authority. I claimed my authority from the floor this year. It doesn't mean everything got better overnight. Not at all. But claiming your authority on the floor, from the floor, sets you in the right direction. And so I invite you to think that sentence when you are finding yourself in struggle mode. When there is no snuggle to be had, there is only struggle. I invite you to claim your authority from the floor. You can claim it from there just as easily. And by the way, that doesn't look like getting up and standing strong right away. It might look like I'm going to stay on this floor and think a little bit about this. It might look like I'm going to hang out on the floor and strategize. And then I make my move. Your authority isn't in making the move and taking the action. Your authority is in the decision you make to be your own ally. and to be your best advocate and to put that above anything else. To be unstoppable, in short. Okay, who is next? I think we just have Anna. I want to make sure there's no one else I'm missing, and then I'm gonna go and run. If you're a witchy self-care friend, we'll be on Zoom right after this. But let me make sure I don't have anyone else but Anna. I think it's just Anna left. Okay, Anna, here we go. Card for you. Today's felt like a sermon, y'all. I hope it's felt like an okay sermon. I am not someone who likes to give advice. And then a few years ago, the universe, my guides, whatever you want to call it, were like, it's time for you to start reading for other people. And I found myself in a position of having to give a lot of advice because that is the role of a tarot reader. And I still try not to outside of that. And you hear that I still try to like be about like, it's your decision, not my decision. You know what I mean? But I try to give a lot of like, you can do this if you choose it advice. I know it's been a little sermony today. Thank you for staying with me. Okay, Anna, this last one is for you. Then I'll be jumping over to Zoom for my witchy self-care intensive friends. Okay, Page of Pentacles. Anna, allow yourself. Be the fool you wish to see in the world because the pages are mini fools. Allow yourself to experience life as a journey. Allow yourself to be a little bit of a child right now. And I don't so much mean like capricious and like the things we negatively associate with childish. I mean the things that we positively associate with childish, like having a sense of adventure, believing that things will just work out, even though you don't know exactly how, being willing to completely absorb yourself in something just because it's shiny and exciting to you. You know, how a kid will be like, I just want to play with this like friggin' My Little Pony for the next 5 hours because I'm into it, and make up a story and have a wonderful time with themselves, right? Allow yourself to seek in a childlike way rather than an adult-like way. And the reason is because, and specifically the Pentacles is about stability. When you're seeking stability, we're talking about getting your needs met. We're talking about getting your needs more than met, thriving and flourishing. Allow yourself, this is going to sound crazy, seek that from the perspective of your inner child, not of your wounded adult self. And the reason is the inner child, sometimes the adult self has a perspective that benefits the inner child, and sometimes the lack of perspective that the inner child has is more beneficial, meaning you get the fresh eyes, you get the beginner's mind, before the world broke your heart, before the world made you see that everything had to be fucking hard, right? The child is like, no, it could work, right? And that sense of like light innocence is the energy that will carry you through. Light innocence, it could work, right? Just allowing yourself to experience that, allowing yourself to play your way through, literally perhaps, whatever that means to you, pursuing creativity and art as a part of who you are, as a part of getting your own needs met, will help you cultivate that inner childlikeness in whatever way feels good to you, right? Allow yourself to kind of pull the veil from your eyes and experience life with the eyes of a child again, and see if that perspective doesn't get you somewhere in January. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the Witchy Weather Report. The card of the month for everyone is the Five of Pentacles. Our needs are in focus. Please do not shame yourself for having needs. It means you're alive. We love that you're alive. I'm a big fan of you being alive right now. So please instead advocate for your needs and be loving to yourself and take yourself in hand when you need to in order to get through. If you would like to order a tarot report for January, the URL is tinyurl.com/yourtarotmonth. If you are a Witchy Self-Care Intensive member, we are about to go live on Zoom right now. If you are a Sassafras Cast patron, at 3 p.m., I will be recording our live Sassafras Cast episode for the month, and it's going to be about making your spiritual practice accessible and easy and embracing doing it wrong and letting done be better than good. And I don't know, friggin' that's all you need to know. If you're interested in a New Year's reading, hit me up. I do have some on my Etsy shop. I can point you to them. I know that this is the time for that, and I haven't really been promoting it because I've been busy. Anyway, have a wonderful, I love you all so much. I will see you again next year. Bye.